PTC has announced that their core solutions are going to be migrated over to Atlas, the cloud-based platform that Onshape runs on. What are the implications? What are the opportunities? Well, we're going to talk about that next. Okay, so let's talk about what are the implications and opportunities for PTC as they move a lot of their traditional core products. We're talking about Creo and Windchill mainly, and maybe Integrity, over to Atlas, which is this platform that Onshape built. It's a cloud-based platform to run stuff, applications. Onshape runs on that, but it is a platform that they've separated from Onshape. It doesn't require that anymore. And they're going to be using this platform as their cloud-based platform, the architecture upon which the products are going to move over. So, it's a really interesting kind of announcement. And what I'm going to talk about next is a lot of speculation. They haven't announced what that is going to look like as it moves over, but there's some really interesting opportunities. But first, let's talk a little bit about, let's get some context. Let's talk a little bit about what the traditional engineering IT ecosystem kind of looks like today. So first off, let's start over on the right. This is kind of like the internal IT development environment inside a company, right? So you have different types of engineers using their own applications that run on their desktops. Mechanical CAD, electrical CAD, software development. There's integrated development environments that are often run. And then you have, so each of those are kind of creating and producing files, models, drawings, diagrams, schematics, code, all sorts of stuff like that. And those are then uploaded or synchronized with a couple server-based systems, traditionally, PLM and ALM. And PLM is typically where you see the hardware being kind of stored and managed, the digital definitions that you need for all the hardware, mechanical hardware, electrical hardware, electronic hardware. And the software development stuff goes in ALM, application lifecycle management. So that's what the internal IT ecosystem looks like. And of course, you can have other people kind of punch through and connect to those from outside through the firewall, and their applications can contribute definitions to those systems as well, PLM and ALM. Okay, so right, that's the traditional IT ecosystem that we've had going back for a while, before the cloud was available. What's going on here? Why might that be an issue? Well, there's an issue of access for external folks, or work from home might be an issue over the last year, where you had to be within the firewall to kind of contribute. That was always a challenge, but yeah, that's been well tread. A lot of us really know about that. A bigger issue, however, is this lack of integration between PLM and ALM. Two separate systems. And you certainly can manage the digital definitions of software code or applications and all your hardware in two different places. Perfectly fine. The issue is when you start to get into system engineering, where you have architectures that span domains, where you have requirements management that spans domains, and you need to feed those down into each of those domains. Software development, mechanical hardware development, and on, because they need to come back up and be integrated into a whole system at some point. Cross-domain testing would be another one. Once you flash software onto your product and you put it on a shaker table or some other test, and it fails, and you need to understand the root cause, which might be software or electronics or the electrical distribution system. That you can't do that separately in these two systems, ALM and PLM. Having a split between those two is kind of artificial. it's easy to understand where they came from. They were developed separately. Traditionally, it's hard to bring them together. However, moving to Atlas represents some new opportunities. And one of those big opportunities is to have closer, more tight-knit processes that you can execute because of integration. Now, of course, you look at this slide, this diagram, and you can see it doesn't matter if you're internal or external. You're a contractor or a supplier, you access these solutions the same way, right? It's through the cloud, it's through a browser, and that's great. But more importantly, from my perspective, once you move Windchill and Integrity, PLM and ALM to the same environment, to the same platform, you have an opportunity to have seamless processes. I'm not saying they need to be integrated into the same code base or the same application, system application. It doesn't matter to me, I don't care. What is important is that you surface the right capabilities to different users, right? So software developer sees one change process, they see one set of requirements that are allocated out across different domains. System engineer is the same way. The mechanical hardware engineer is seeing their capabilities and creating geometry and drawings as part of one experience, not 2 or 3 or 4 different applications. And I think, the real benefit here, and obviously there's a usability, productivity aspect of this that I'm talking about, right? You get access to a broadened set of capabilities that will make individuals more productive, and that's great. But more importantly, with an integrated process, you can have one change process that everybody participates in. You have one system engineering process that everybody participates in. You have one testing process that acts across integrated domains, mechanical, electronic, electrical, software. So, and there's lots of benefits there. You can accelerate what you do without being artificially constrained. So, that's the advantage that I see, or opportunity that I see, as PTC announces that these core products are going to be moving to the Atlas platform. There are benefits to doing anything, running anything in the cloud, right? And those are kind of table stakes. Lots of solutions can offer those capabilities, but this is interesting because you can bring together the worlds of hardware and the worlds of software to run on the same processes, where today, in almost every circumstance, they are using completely different systems. They're in silos, and man, if you want them to talk, it's gonna be painful. You got to get them out of their silos. You got to get them out of their workflows, and you might have to drag them out kicking and screaming. But if they're using a single platform that gives them the capabilities they need to do their job in an environment that makes sense for them, while letting them contribute to one holistic view of product development, that suddenly becomes very powerful, because you can accelerate those individual processes that span what everybody does. So that's, this meeting was very focused on financials for PTC, but that is the nugget of information that I heard that got me very excited, and I think it's a really great opportunity. So that's it. That's the implications and opportunities of PTC moving their core products onto the Atlas platform. That's it. Take care and talk soon.